Hey y'all, it's Lonnie. Welcome back to my series on spiritual awakening, where I'm going to do my best to take you down the rabbit hole of my own personal awakening. Last week we covered the first stage, what I referred to as the great questioning. And this week I promised to let you know what happens once you realize that you're in a dream. But first, the backstory. In the last video, I mentioned that I dated a guy who called himself a shaman. And although I still don't want to share the more personal details of the situation, I will tell you this. We dated exactly 2 years, starting in 2018. I was 16. It was my first real relationship, so I didn't know a lot about anything really. And to be fair, neither did he, but he sure thought that he did, and I was very impressionable. The relationship was really toxic, and thankfully I found the strength to bring things to an end on January 1st of 2020. I was not sad over him, or the breakup per se. I was more so just angry at myself for how enmeshed I had allowed myself to be with him, and the fact that I had spent 2 of my very formative years building my identity based on another person, when I should have been using it to invest into creating an identity of my own. I need you to know that I was so outside of myself that I didn't even know what I liked to wear. I didn't know what I liked to do for fun. I didn't even know what my favorite color was, just down bad. I knew one thing though. I knew that God was real. So I decided to start going to church. That is a different testimony for a different time. And while I can still tell you, even after all these years, just how negatively this person has impacted my life, I'm no saint. I wasn't then, I'm not now, nor will I ever claim to be one. What I can do is set aside just enough pride to say that I did learn a few things. The term ego death being one of them. Ego death is the complete loss of subjective self-identity. Who I thought I was died on January 1st of 2020. Undoubtedly for the best. But death of any kind is not easy. There are many things that can trigger an ego death, some common ones being the use of psychedelics, engaging in certain spiritual practices, and like for me, a major life event such as a breakup. And again, as I've said before, the stages of spiritual awakening can vary based on what order that they come and go. But for me, my ego death was followed by a season of isolation, which even after 5 long years, I still don't seem to be completely out of. So let me be a lesson. Let me be proof to you that if you don't learn your lesson, you will be stuck in a cycle of wash, rinse, repeat. I could make a whole video on what the season of isolation is and is not. And honestly, I probably will. But it's not something that you'll understand unless you've been through it. I've had seasons within this season where I felt like I've been more social than others, but it wasn't until I joined the Navy about 2 years ago where I felt like I was at least starting to come out of it. I strongly believe that true growth can only happen when you're alone. To learn and to reflect. While you're in a season of isolation and you do have social encounters, they serve as an opportunity for you to test the skills that you think that you've mastered when you were alone. Let me not get ahead of myself. If I were comparing this stage of awakening to being asleep in the natural, I'd say that ego death is the part where you realize that you're in a dream. But isolation is being stuck in the dream without a clue on how to get out. You'll wake up eventually, but it's not over till it's over. Next week, we'll explore what happens when you finally open your eyes. So stay tuned, and God bless you.